Yo, what's up, Derek? All right, here is your beginner's tutorial for the fiddle. Not the violin, the fiddle. And before I get started, I might add that my sponsor, this is Get Bent Mountain IPA. And it is awesome. It's local here in Salem, Virginia. It's a IPA, of course, and it is the bee's knees. Right now, it's a spit tune. Anyhow. Fiddle, okay, bridge, tailpiece, chin rest, fingerboard. This right here is the scroll. These are your tuners, pegs, whatever. These are your fine tuners. This is your F hole. Here, if you look inside, you'll see sound post. It's right in there. It should be on the right side there, right up underneath the bridge. So that out of the way. I think I'm in tune, but I'm gonna go ahead and hit a G. This is your G. Okay, and hopefully it's in tune enough where you can use your fine tuners here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the D out of tune just a little bit so you can kind of hear. All right, so I'm gonna tune it up. This is my D string. Okay, now it's in tune. G, D, A, E. Okay, and you can. That's a G and a D. That's a D and an A. That's an A and an E, and the E's out of tune a little bit. There we go. Now it's in tune. Okay. First off, when you're holding your fiddle, on the neck, you want to make sure, don't lay it on your wrist like this. A lot of people, old timers do it, but it's fine. They can play. There's some guys play better than me that lay it on their wrist, but I find it better if you kind of hold it with your thumb, and that's where your shoulder rest comes into key because you're not. The weight of the fiddle is not relying on your wrist. It's relying like this. You can hold it like that. So that way it gives you can move up and down instead of doing your wrist. Like my dad, he does it with his wrist. And he has to, come up, whatever. So, try to hold it. This is kind of how I've got my, try to get an angle there. Just like that. So that way you can go up. Right, so you can see how fluid it is when you're letting your you're not letting it lay on your wrist. Might add you, it's about 100 degrees in this garage, so I care about you, man, because I'm sweating like a slave. Anyway, next is your bow tension. Okay, here it is loose, and you don't want it touching your. I give it a couple turns. You can kind of feel it in the nut right here when it starts getting a little tight. I'll tighten it up a little more, which it's humid right now and it's hot, so it's going to take a little bit more for it to tighten up and stay up. So humidity is very bad on these instruments and your bow. I've played a lot of shows when it's been kind of warm or whatever, humid. And I'll loosen up my bow, and then I'll put it in my case, and then I'll get it out the next day, and it's tight as hell. So just shows you, it just shows you how bad the humidity affects everything. But I get it to where it's not. You don't want it like super tight, like this. You can see that's too tight for me. I like it where it's barely hitting the stick. that steel a little loose so you can hear it. When you don't hear it hitting up against your bow, then you're good. But when it's kind of grinding, the hair's kind of grinding on your bow, it's not good. I mean, it might be for some people. I'm not, you know, this is just how I do it. All right, so I'm going to show you a scale real quick. This is the G scale. And let me see, how can I do this? Let me bend this thing down a little bit. So we'll do it like this. G, okay? Open G. A, B, C, open D, E, F sharp, G. And that's how you can check it. Play your G, and then the G on your D string, third finger. Okay. Sorry about that. So we've got the first two strings, your G, open. A, first finger. Second finger is going to be B. Alright, third finger is going to be C. And open D, which is your second string. First finger, which is going to be an E. Second finger is going to be a F sharp. Third finger is going to be a G. Okay? Now, I haven't completed the scale yet, but that'll get you started. I ain't trying to rush you on it, and here's another good exercise for your bowing or whatever. Just, it's boring as hell, but you know, it helps. So what I did was I would sit there and just see where I'm keeping it between the bridge and the fingerboard. Try to keep it straight as possible. And go to your D string. Try not to hit any other strings. And your A. And your E. Okay, and then before you do that, which I kind of skipped over it, but your bow, very important. I had one guy tell me that most of it, 90% bow, 10% fingers. So, and it's kind of true, but here's how I hold my bow, and this is the way I do it. I'm not saying that this is the right way, but what I do is I'll take, this is the frog right here. It's what they call the frog. Don't know why, but anyway, you got that little, at the top of the frog right here, it kind of goes in like what I do is I pinch it right there, just like that, and I just kind of let my other fingers lay in it, So when I hold my bow, it's like that. Sometimes I'll change it, Sometimes I'll, choke up on it a little bit, but most of the time it's like that, And another good exercise is when you're doing the exercise where you're just doing your strings back and forth. Stand up against the wall. Put your back flat up against the wall. See how my elbow is high? I'm not like, I want that elbow up. Notice my wrist. How I'm bending my wrist. I'm not using a lot of my arm. Or this part of the arm, I think it's called the ubulus. And this is the dorsimus. I'm just kidding. I don't know. But I'm not using this much as I am this. But I'm trying to, what you want to do is use your wrist. And So, like if you was, that's that's the whole G scale right there, but you don't need to know that yet, just these two first. But, like if I was playing a song, let's say Old Joe Clark, that'll be the first one I teach you. So it's in A, and, you can watch my wrist. All right, so you can kind of see my wrist, how it's, I try to keep it as fluid as possible, but that's your first basic lesson. G scale, half of it. When you get that down, I'll teach you the other half. And what you're going to do is you're going to send me a video of you playing this. Okay? When you do that, then I'll make you another video. And here's another way to check your intonation to make sure you're in the right spots. And I'm going to do double stops. You don't have to do this yet. A double stop is when you draw the bow over two strings, like. Okay? So I'm going to do the G and the D string, okay? G, D. Okay? So G and D, both strings at the same time. First finger, A. Second finger, B. Third finger, C. Open, G and D string. First finger, E on the D string. Second finger's F sharp. Third finger's G. That's kind of how I check my intonation, when I'm doing scales, and it's less boring than going. So I'll go. And that shuffle, that's another thing that you need to learn, but that's later. Don't want to get too far ahead of yourselves, but it's called the, I think it's the Georgia Shuffle, and it's a lot of what you hear like in hoedowns and stuff. Is but that's just, don't even, I'm going to delete that. Matter of fact, I'm going to take it off right now. But that's your first basic lesson. I'm going to get back inside before I pass out from a heat stroke. And got any questions, holler at me. But I want that video of this. This is what I want you to do. Whoopsie. This is what I want you to do. Alright? And don't worry about the shaking yet, the vibrato. You'll get that later. Just do the simple. Okay? Alright, man. Have at it.